I'm Randy Pitchford. I'm the president of Gearbox Software and executive producer of Duke Nukem Forever. Who are you?
I just saw the girls and I came in the door.
The Duke babes, yeah.
Coincidentally, though, I also work at Gearbox Software. I'm Steve Gibson, vice president at Gearbox.
Okay, cool. And this is Capsule Computer's interview with the Gearbox guys. We're going to ask you a few questions about Duke Nukem, as you can see in the background right there. So we'll go ahead and ask you some questions and kick it off.
Guys, I guess to start with, what's been the vibe that you've been getting from most of the gamers that you've been talking to about the release of Duke Nukem?
Yeah. It's been the vibe.
Yeah, it's a wide range of weird, crazy. Of course, you got anticipation, you got excitement, you've got like jitters, like just guys like we had when we did PAX. Do you remember that guy who was actually shaking in his chair?
He was, yeah.
Yes, we actually.
Let's call that anxiousness.
We call it that. We actually stopped everybody else and we said, "That guy, you go first."
yeah, you can play first. You're freaking out. That guy was gonna have a heart attack or something.
He was.
He couldn't believe it.
And then we even have like the press guys. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do with themselves when this happens. Like, what?
There's nothing else to. Yeah. What are we gonna talk about after Duke Forever comes out?
It's all kinds of things, but it is exciting, and honestly, for us at Gearbox to be part of this legacy, this legend in gaming, it's humbling, Yeah.
Well, I'm sure a lot of gamers are very excited about the fact that it's actually coming out, that it's actually here now. Regarding the game itself, are there any particular things that you guys are thrilled or excited about within the game itself?
What do you think? What do you like about the game?
What do I like about the game? Oh man, it is. I think that because this game, unlike a lot of games, where you can put your finger on like, oh, that's an action game, or that's a puzzle game. Like what is so rare and special about Duke Nukem Forever is this game touches on so many different things that gamers enjoy. Now, you do have your skill test, your dexterity test of like, yes, I've got to shoot the alien before he gets to me. But there's cognitive tests. There's just straight like visual tests of like understanding a scene, figuring out what it is you need to do and how you want to interact with the world to do that. And of course, speaking of that, there's the interactivity of the actual environment. When you see things, you can actually do things with them. Like as simple as say water fountains in the world, to pinball machines and pool tables and all those other things in the world. It's like this game takes all these different things that you enjoy about gaming and it's it doesn't just put itself on rails of one thing. It's a wide experience of games. I wish there were more games like that. It seems like games these days have just all narrowed themselves down.
You know what else? You get to blow stuff up.
Also that.
I love blowing stuff up.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what's the story? What's the story like with Duke Nukem? What's he do when he first starts up, or what can the players expect to see when they first start up the game?
I'll tell you what. The story's crazy because, I mean, obviously it's going to be a wild story, but it's intelligent too because it knows where it's at. It knows how long the game has been in development. Okay, let me set it up. So,
stop for a minute.
Duke,
Where we at?
12 years later.
Duke saved the world.
Woo!
All right. So he is he's the most famous guy in his universe. He's successful at everything that he does. He's wealthy. He's a winner. I mean, there's nothing this guy. He's been on the moon. He's been on top of Mount Everest. He's won the World Series of Poker.
Yeah.
He's got one of those big old belts from the winning the champion boxing thing. Like the guy's done it all. He's won Oscars, from the movies. The guy is a winner in every respect, and he's living the dream. He's living the most narcissistic, hedonistic, opulent lifestyle you can possibly imagine. He lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. He has his own casino. It's the biggest, most expensive casino in Vegas.
What's it called?
Duke's casino is called the Lady Killer Casino, and it's just down the street. It's right downtown in Vegas, down the street from the Duke Burger Stratosphere. It's across the street from the Fellatio Hotel. It's it's Duke's world, right? So it's kind of a funhouse mirror reflection of our world, and he's living in the penthouse suite, and it's a ridiculous pad, and he's like enjoying his life as Duke, and but one thing hasn't quite gone right. It's been 12 years since he saved the world, and there was supposed to be a video game about him, but it's just now coming out. It's taken him 12 years to make the game about how he saved the world. So he's kind of like, dude, what the hell? Why does it take so long, right? So his situation is he's finally playing his own video game. He's living his life, he's in his pad, he's finally playing his own video game. Oh, and by the way, while he's playing his game, he's being pleasured by 2 women at the same time. That's just the kind of guy he is. Right?
Go,
so here he
Duke.
is. He's playing his game. He's finally playing the Duke Nukem video game, and the girls, they come up for air, and they ask him, "What do you think? Is the game any good?" And Duke's response is, "Yeah, but after 12 fucking years, it should be." Right? So it's intelligent. Duke feels exactly like we feel. Like he's had to wait all this time.
Yeah, about time.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
But it's in this moment that the aliens come back.
Ooh.
And they're back. And Duke knows what that means. They even come back to Vegas because they know Duke's there. They're after him first because he sees through their plot. But the aliens this time, they have a new plan, and they're going to trick mankind. They fool the president of the United States. They fool him into believing that I know, really hard, right? they fool him. They fool him into believing that they're coming back in peace. Of course, Duke knows the aliens aren't here in peace. They're going to take our women. They're going to use them to breed an alien army with which to take over the world. They're going to transform all the males into pigs. Right? So that's how you get pig cops. And
Yeah.
I guess there's pig lawyers and other kinds of pigs. Because all men are pigs, right?
Yeah.
That's what Duke's really trying to say. And so it's in that moment that Duke has to once again rise up, and he has to save the world. So you're going to become Duke Nukem, and you're going to save the motherfucking world. And it's a wild, crazy, epic adventure.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, I guess just on the note that you guys were talking about before, I'll just have a question of Duke has always been famous for walking that fine line between what is and is not appropriate to present in a video game.
A fine line, okay.
Were there actually a fine line, fuzzy zone?
It's a giant, fuzzy, kind of
Miasma.
amorphous. Yeah, you don't know what the hell it is, but yes, okay.
Well,
There's a line there.
There's a line
And
there.
on one side, it's safe, and on the other side is, oh my God, what are you doing?
Yeah, precisely. But well, that was generally the question. Were there ever any jokes or situations that you guys brainstormed in development that you just found too extreme to actually put into the game?
That's a good question. No, fortunately, the development, the team is pretty intelligent about how. I mean, that line is a confusing kind of line. On one side, you've broken the law.
Yeah.
And on the other side, it doesn't matter. It's not. There's no risk to it. So Duke Nukem lives on that line, right? I mean, yeah. What would you say about
He
that?
moonwalks on that line.
He dances
Yes,
on
he
that
dances
line.
on it, yeah.
He lives. Yeah. And so the team has actually been very intelligent about just living in that space, such that any censorship that's happened has been kind of in the process. It hasn't been like after the fact where we've had to cut things out. It's been really intelligent how it kind of plays in that space, but it does so in a way that's still kind of okay. Like, yeah, there's things that make you a bit uncomfortable, but that's kind of part of the fun,
Yeah,
that's what
absolutely.
you get out of it. So yeah,
Okay. Well,
maybe the glory hole is what kind of pushes it over the edge, but not
Yeah,
even that
maybe.
is
Maybe.
still okay.
just one.
I had to throw in glory hole.
Yes.
Sorry.
Always, every conversation.
As often as possible.
And if it's alright, I'll just have one very last quick question. It's a very small one. And I'm sure a lot of gamers would like to know, does chewing bubblegum actually enhance the ass-kicking experience?
Does chewing bubblegum enhance?
Chewing.
You know what? I think we're all gonna have to find out for ourselves. So it won't be long. June 14th in USA, June 10th everywhere else, and you can
It's
grab
time
your
to
chewing
kick
gum
ass and
you
chew
can
bubble
kick
gum.
ass. And yes, we'll find out. We'll find out soon.
We'll all find out.
Well, thanks very much for your time today, guys.
Absolutely.
All right, and we're all very much looking forward to the launch. So.
Thank you so much. We're almost there.
All right.
Almost there. Cheers. Cheers.